Having the same morning routine every single day is just not productive. Every single day we are born into a new life. Our cells are different. We're different people. We've transformed. Our whole life is different from when we went to bed the night before to when we wake up. We need different things. We feel differently. We've got different things happening that day. So I'm going to go ahead and say, for the record, I do not have a strict morning routine that I follow every single day. And I don't think that you should either.
What if today was the day that you dared yourself to do what you've always wanted? Welcome to the I Dare You podcast. I'm your host, Jen Gottlieb, and together we're going to step outside of our comfort zones and into our best lives, one dare at a time. So come on, I dare you to dive right on in.
What's up, family? It's Jen, and welcome back to another episode of the I Dare You podcast, where we are stepping outside of our comfort zones and right into our best lives, one dare at a time. I love that tagline. Do y'all like that? I'm obsessed with it. So I just wanted to say it again, even though you probably already heard it in the opener. Anyways, there's a lot of noise out there when it comes to morning routines. And people ask me all the time, what's your morning routine? What's the best morning routine to get the most out of your day? What should I be doing in the morning? What's the best morning routine hack? And I used to be the person that was like, this is my morning routine. It's super strict. I do this step, this step, this step, this step, this step. And if I don't do this one step, I don't have a good day. And if you were to ask me about my morning routine about 4 years ago, that's what I would have said. It's a non-negotiable. But then I learned as my business got more successful, as I became more busy, as I became someone that travels all the time for my business, having the same morning routine every single day is just not productive. And I'm not going to say the word realistic because I fucking hate the word realistic. You can make whatever you want to make realistic. So it is realistic if you want it to be, but it's really just not productive because every single day we are born into a new life. Our cells are different. We're different people. We've transformed. Our whole life is different from when we went to bed the night before to when we wake up. We need different things. We feel differently. We've got different things happening that day. I'm going to need a different routine for the morning that I do Unfair Advantage Live than for the morning that I wake up and just have a regular day around the house working, and then a different morning routine for when I'm traveling, having a speaking engagement, right? So if I had a strict morning routine that I had to do on the mornings of Unfair Advantage Live, I would have had to have gotten up at 3 o'clock in the morning to do it and not have slept and felt terrible. So it wouldn't have worked. So I'm going to go ahead and say, for the record, I do not have a strict morning routine that I follow every single day. And I don't think that you should either. I think that that's a big fat myth. And if you try to have the morning routine of somebody else that got on the internet and said, this is the morning routine to do, you're probably going to be doing yourself a disservice because A, you're not that person. So you might need a different routine than that person because your life might be different and your needs might be different for the specific job that you have or the specific day that you are about to have. And B, like, it's just not productive to have the same morning routine every day when you're doing different things every day and you're literally a different form of yourself every single day. So you might be asking, okay, Jen, you don't believe in morning routines. So what do you do when you wake up to get into a good frame of mind? Maybe you're not asking that, but I'm going to tell you that you should be asking me that. Well, here's what I do. I have a menu. And I choose from that menu of things that I know that get me into peak state. My number one goal each day is to get myself into peak state. All right. So for whatever I have going on that day, and I have different things that I use to get me into peak state for a keynote talk. And then I have different things that I do to get me into peak state to have a productive day writing. And I have different things that I do to get me into peak state for an event like Unfair Advantage Live. They're different things and they're a menu, and I pick and choose what I need in that morning depending on what I'm about to do. And if you want to go above and beyond, you can pick what you want to do the night before. And later at the end of this podcast, I'm actually going to give you, because you guys like actual tactical tools and tips, and I'm going to give you a dare, and it's going to be a routine for people that don't have time for morning routines. Okay, so stay tuned. I'm going to give you something. But my menu looks like this. All right, I've got a list of things that I know that work, and I wake up and I ask myself, what do I need today? Or the night before, I'll tell myself, this is what you need to do tomorrow to get into the zone for today. So my menu sometimes has a gratitude list, right? I'm going to write out the things that I'm grateful for. A future gratitude list. I write out the things that haven't necessarily happened yet as if they've happened and say how grateful I am for them. That helps me to future set. That helps me to visualize the day that I'm about to have. It helps me to visualize the day going just as well as I think it's going to go. I specifically use this one if I have a big day, like a speaking engagement or a big event. And I'll just take a moment to say how grateful I am that the day went perfectly. And I showed up so amazingly. And everything that happened for me. And that God spoke to me and through me. And I knew all the words to say and everything worked out. And I'm so grateful, right? And I write down my future gratitude. Another thing on my menu is a little quick meditation. And for me, I'm not a big meditator, so I don't like meditating for long periods of time. You might like meditating for long periods of time, and that's fantastic. For me, what meditating just means is closing my eyes and taking a few deep breaths and just getting in touch with my breath. And that's it. And just focusing on where my feet are for a few seconds and saying thank you. At the end of it, and thanking my body, thanking my heart, thanking my lungs, thanking my soul for being alive. It really all has to just do with gratitude, getting in my body. The one non-negotiable thing on the menu is that I move my body in some way, shape, or form. Now, that doesn't mean that I go to the gym and do a huge lifting session that takes an hour and a half every day. When you move your body, you move a thought. When you move a muscle, move a thought, right? Like that's how it works. My brain doesn't start moving until my body starts moving. And there's an actual scientific thing that happens. Wow, Jen, you're such a scientist. There's there's proof that you release certain chemicals when you move your body that actually make you feel happy and make you feel good. Chemicals like serotonin and dopamine and endorphins that make you feel happy. So the best way to get a win right off the bat, so make your subconscious feel like you're winning, and also physically actually change your body and the physics and the chemistry in your body to make you feel better, is to move. So no matter what I move, it could be a walk, a wonder walk that I do on the treadmill before a talk. I could go for a walk around the block. I go for a workout in the gym. I just did an hour-long walk on the treadmill and listened to a podcast. It could be 10 jumping jacks, 10 push-ups, 10 squats, and 10 sun salutations. It could literally be a couple of jumping jacks in place, and that's it. Or it could be, sprints. It could be whatever, a dance class. I don't know. Put on some music and dance around the house with your kids. Some movement is my non-negotiable. So again, my menu really it consists of gratitude lists, future gratitude lists, any kind of stream of conscious writing. Sometimes I'll do when I'm on vacation. I really like to, if I feel like I need to get some thoughts out on a piece of paper, I'll just do morning pages, which is from the book The Artist's Way, where it's just you write without thinking for like 3 pages without stopping, even if the words don't make sense. I love doing that because a lot of the time that actually turns into content that I end up using. It starts off as gibberish and doesn't make any sense, and then I suddenly get some ideas. So that's another thing on the menu. So I wake up and I ask myself, Jenny, what do you need today? What do you need for what you're doing today? Oh, wow. Well, I always need some gratitude. So thank you. Okay. Thank you. I go do my gratitude list. And then, you know what? I'm feeling a little uneasy about today. I'm going to do my future gratitude list, right? And then I'll start writing why I'm grateful that the day went amazing. And then I'll go move my body and then I'll get to work. And some days it looks like that. Some days it looks differently. Some days I just get up and go to the gym and that's all I need. Some days I'll get up and I need a lot of writing. I do my 3 breath meditation. I need a little bit more time in my body. But what I'm trying to tell you basically is it doesn't have to be the same thing every day. You just need to do something and check in with yourself and ask yourself, what do I need today? And know that you have that menu of tools, of things that you can do in the morning that make you feel great. Now, I want to get to this anti-morning routine, or the morning routine for people that want something to do but don't have time for a morning routine. And it's an actual thing. I do this, and I do this every single day, and I invite you to try it. This is going to be your dare. And it has a lot to do with my concept of sticking with commitments that you make with yourself, right? I always say that confidence comes from consistently sticking with the commitments that you make with yourself. So I'm always making commitments and I'm always trying to stick to them. Or I hate using the word try. I'm fucking sticking to my commitments no matter what, because I know that when I don't stick to my commitments, I'm subconsciously telling myself that like, oh, you don't stick to your commitments, you can't trust yourself. And I never, ever, ever want to tell my subconscious that. So here's what you do. Since many people do not have time to do a morning routine or write things down in the morning, you have kids, you've got stuff going on, right? You're going to use your menu. If you have the time, great. If you want to create the time, great. Whatever your body needs in that morning, amazing. I'm all here for it. But everybody can create a few minutes at night before you lay your head down to sleep to do this one quick exercise. Everybody can. Okay. Put a journal next to your bed, sit down in your bed before you close your eyes and write down 3 wins for the day. 3 wins. So things that you can celebrate that you did. They don't have to be huge business wins. They could be whatever win you want, right? I walked around the block today. I actually texted my friend that I haven't spoken to in ages today. I made a sale today. Boom. 3 wins. And you might really like writing down wins, and you might have more than 3, and you could go to town. But I'm just going to tell you to do 3. We're going to make it super simple. Then you're going to write down 3 commitments for the next day. Your commitments, things you're committing to doing no matter what. So make sure these are things that are carved into your calendar that you can stick with, because remember, we don't want to not stick to that commitment. 3 commitments. Okay. And so I'm committed to recording a podcast tomorrow. I'm committed to going to the gym tomorrow for 45 minutes. I'm committed to, telling Chris that I love him. Okay. Boom. 3 commitments. Okay. That's easy. Things that you can commit to. Boom. Close your journal. Go to sleep. Guess what? You already have your morning routine done for you in the morning. You wake up in the morning. You just open up that journal and you read it. You read it. You celebrate your wins from the day before. Holy shit, I'm amazing. I did all these things that makes me feel good. Experience gratitude as you as you read those wins and celebrate with yourself. And then look at your commitments that you made for yourself and just get started on doing those commitments so that at the end of the night, you can check them off and make them your wins for the next night. Boom, your morning routine is done for you the night before. So that, my friend, is the morning routine for the person that doesn't have time to do morning routines. I invite you to try it. That is my dare for you. My dare of the day is tonight, before you go to sleep, write down 3 wins for the day, 3 commitments for the next day, and watch your life change. Because what you're going to subconsciously start doing is you're going to start to actually do more during the day, because you're going to want to write it down that night. You're going to want to celebrate it in your journal. I find myself doing things that I wouldn't typically do, because I'm like, man, I really want to write this down that I celebrated this win and celebrate this win with myself tonight before I go to bed. And also you find yourself doing what you say you're going to do way more, because you want to check off the fact that you stuck with the commitment that you made the night before. It becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. You want to have that moment with yourself, and you always have time for it, because we always have time. We always can create time. 3 minutes before we lay our head down to sleep. 3 minutes. You're in your bed. You're there. Okay, pick up the damn journal with a pen. It's there. And just write it down. In the morning, I can't promise you that you're going to want to create that time. Shit happens. You've got your menu of things that you need. Ask yourself, what do I need today? Pick something from the menu. Move your damn body. Get going. And then finish your day with your morning routine for the next day. That, my friends, is my dare for you. We talked about the myth of morning routines and how it is a bunch of bullshit to copy someone else's morning routine, because we are different than everybody. Our lives are different. Our experiences are different. And every day is different. And at the end of the day, in the morning, we need a different morning routine for different activities. So that's my tangent. I'm excited you joined me for another episode of the I Dare You podcast. And I invite you to share this episode with somebody that's looking for an amazing morning routine, so you can just go ahead and shut them down and tell them, sorry, having the perfect morning routine is a myth, but here's something that you can do to make your life a hell of a lot easier. All right, loves, I'm so grateful for you. Thank you for joining me, and I'll see you next time for another episode of the I Dare You podcast.
Thank you so much for tuning into this episode of the I Dare You podcast. I'm so grateful you chose to spend this time with me, but I'm even more grateful for your future self, that you are building one dare at a time. So my first dare for you is to subscribe to the show and then share it with a friend who you think needs to step a little bit more outside their comfort zone and into their best lives. They'll thank you for it. I'll see you next time on the I Dare You podcast.